Hello everyone. So today we're going to be talking about an article CNN posts that says Pompeo says he will release Clinton emails following Trump criticism. And so they add the little Trump criticism, but the important part here is that the Clinton emails are going to start being leaked out. They're going to start being released one after the other. And the thing about all of these emails is there was a lot of bad doings that was covered up by Comey and a lot of others that work for the Democrat Party. And we're going to see that as we read on how biased CNN is with the way they talk about this and how they're trying to cover up for Clinton. And they go as far as to try to say that Donald Trump himself is attacking political opponents, but Hillary herself isn't an actual political opponent. She's an ex-opponent. So here we go. We'll dive right in. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Friday announced that he would release more of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's emails, an openly political move. That is a CNN wording right there, an openly political move on behalf of President Donald Trump ahead of the November election and a year after a State Department investigation concluded there was no persuasive evidence of widespread mishandling of classified information by Clinton or her aides. A day earlier, Trump expressed displeasure that his top U.S. diplomat had not yet released the emails deleted from Clinton's private server, which she said in 2015 were, quote, personal and private. She said she had 33,000 emails, Trump told Fox News on Thursday. Quote, they're in the State Department, but Mike Pompeo is unable to get them out, which is very sad, actually. I'm not happy about that. For that reason, he is unable to get, I don't know why. You're running the State Department and you get them out, but they're in the State Department. In an interview with Fox News Friday, Pompeo says, quote, we've got the emails. We're getting them out. It is unclear if he's referencing the deleted emails. And we'll stop right there. You can see the wording, the biased wording that CNN does here. But here's the thing. There were many deleted emails. 33,000 deleted emails. And she says they're personal and private. And they're on her private server, which stands to reason that they were private. However, in her position, she's not allowed to take work home with her, so to speak. She's not allowed to have government intelligence, government information on her private server, which was already declared. That already happened. So you're finding out that this person had secret government documentation on her private server. Now, upon the fact that she was about to be investigated for it, they found smashed phones, bleach-bitted hard drives. This is an effort to actually cover up crimes committed. Anyone who would have investigated that situation at the time would have found the same action. However, you can't commit them for committing up a crime if you cannot prove a crime. So once they find out all these emails have in fact been leaked out to Russia, to China, to all of these other countries that pilfered her private server, her quote-unquote private server. Once it gets out that all of these countries actually pilfered information from her private server, it should be over politically for Hillary Rodham Clinton. And I'll read on. Asked if they would be released before the election, he said, I certainly think there'll be more to see before the election, and we think so as well. And it's not a political move when he's been saying for a long time that there is a deep state and that he's going to try to do something about that. And every move that he makes, it is a political, partisan thing, when in reality, he's just trying to find out who it is and what it is that's been causing a lot of problems in the United States before he ever got there. The reason why he's there. Anyway, we're reading on. Quote, we're going to get all of this information out so the American people can see it. You remember there was classified information on a private server, should have never been there. Hillary Clinton should never have done that. That was unacceptable behavior, Pompeo said. Quote, you can see whether it's Russia or China or Iran or the North Koreans who want to get their hands on this kind of information. Classified information needs to stay in the right places. As we mentioned, it was at her private server at her home. Secretary Clinton, when she was here at the State Department, did not do that, he said. An investigation by the State Department released in October 2019 said there was no, quote, persuasive evidence of widespread mishandling of classified information. Then FBI Director James Comey twice concluded in 2016 that Clinton should not face criminal charges over her use of a private server, but did rebuke Clinton and her aides on July of that year for being extremely careless in the handling of classified information. So there's a difference here. Comey says that they did this thing. The only difference here is the opinion of who should be getting in trouble for what. Fact of the matter is Comey confirmed that this actually went on. The only thing that didn't happen was punishment for the crime, or for the fact of establishing that it was a crime. And it is in fact a crime. You're not allowed to take government information and put it on your private server. That causes security leaks. You're going to have somebody come along from Russia or China and hack your private server, which isn't as strong as the government server, and then they're going to get all this private information. And government officials can pilfer and siphon off private information from government sources and sell them off to third parties in another country. And that should not be allowed by anyone. Doesn't matter what party you're in, you should be against that. But Comey admits this openly, that she did this. He says that it's not persuasive evidence, only that it's extremely careless. So what he did was he confirmed, but he wasn't going to punish. And so we're seeing how certain people can be tried. Comey himself even said in one of the cases that he knew Hillary Clinton was a good woman and that he wasn't going to try her. And the fact of the matter is, who in the world has a judge that answers like that when you're about to be in court? We would all love to have a judge in our corner like that. Trump has consistently attacked his 2016 presidential rival, and in the waning days of the 2020 campaign has sought to pressure top officials to take steps to malign his political opponents. Some officials, like Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe and Attorney General Bill Barr, have obliged, providing a string of declassified documents to Senate Republicans and others targeting the FBI, Russia's investigation ahead of the November election. And here's the thing, why isn't it allowed? Why in the world isn't it allowed to actually find declassified information and let the people know? What do the Democrats fear by allowing this information to come to light? It's not Joe Biden. We're talking about Hillary Clinton. So what is the fight? What is the horse in the race? What is the point in keeping this going? Why is everyone in the Democrat Party so into protecting Hillary Clinton? Why is CNN so ready to help Hillary Clinton? It's all PR campaign for her, and it's all hate against him. Now, why is that? We read on. In late September, Ratcliffe released unverified Russian intelligence about Clinton. Democrats accused him of then pushing Russian disinformation about Clinton, which he denied. And I think that's kind of funny because they were the ones that bought Russian intel when they were going in the 2016 election against Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton bought a dossier from a Mr. Steele in Russia that was bought through British intelligence sources. So here's the thing. She bought information on a political opponent that was fake, that was made up, that they couldn't verify, that it wasn't documented, that it was true. Even the person who wrote it didn't know the truth of the matter. So they bought information that was totally fallible. And here they're saying that the Trump group did the very same thing, and that's not okay. It's not the same thing because these are actual verifiable sources. On Tuesday, former CIA Director John Brennan accused Ratcliffe of selectively declassifying documents to help Trump. John Ratcliffe is anything but an intelligence professional. It is appalling his selective declassification of information. It is designed to advance the political interests of Donald Trump and Republicans who are aligned with him, Brennan said. So anytime we try to look up information on anybody else, that is wrong. They can look up Donald Trump's tax returns when he doesn't want them released, but we cannot look up, as a group of civilians, people in this country should know whether their government's being true or not. This isn't safe. This is actually a big security risk to allow people from high up government to have private servers. And then furthermore, have the FBI come in and they find smashed phones. They find drives that are bleach-bitted. So explain to me, is that safe for our Army? Is that safe for our Navy? Is that safe for our Air Force or Marines? Is that safe for our civilians? Because we don't even know what was on those 33,000 deleted emails. And it's a scary thought that it could be anything up to nuclear. So it's a really scary thought that somebody could actually take that information, get it downloaded, bring it home. And to allow that to continue is something that should not happen. People that do this kind of thing should be held accountable, or we don't have a country and we don't have the ability to protect our own self against our own government. Here, Nancy Pelosi is calling upon the 25th Amendment to try to oust Trump, and yet we're seeing the Democrat side sneak information out from government and download them to their own computers. I don't understand how the Democrats can make anything with Donald Trump stick when they themselves bent over backwards for Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Obama, and now they're doing the same for Nancy Pelosi. They're doing the same for Joe Biden. And it's ironic we find all this stuff out that isn't quite true, but here's one of the things that is very much true. And the media will hide it, and America should know. Maybe you don't care anymore. Maybe Hillary's ancient news and never will be the president. We know that. But the reality is, everyone who causes havoc in this world faces a punishment. And we would all like to see this lady receive her punishment in a fair court of law, not a group of people that are already indexed cards as friends. Because that's what Hillary Clinton kept on doing in government, and that's what she's still doing now. And instead of paying for actual crimes, all of these Democrats stick up for themselves, stick up for each other, so much so that they're allowed to commit crimes. They're allowed to commit societal atrocities. And it's okay because they can deem it an environmental thing. They can say they were joking around when they happened to wear blackface. They can say that the world is doomed in 10 years, but then design a $15 billion railway across the United States 15 years from now. Make no mistakes, these Democrats are nothing but power hungry, and we're seeing that they've bought off a lot of people in the CIA, in the FBI, in these alphabet groups. Comey proves that. When you have a person that's basically the judge, jury, and executioner, and before they even get to trial, the man says, I know her, she's a good person, I don't believe any of the charges, you know she's walking out of there that day. That's not a trial. That's a handshake. So now that we're getting all of this extra information out there, what do you think? Do you think this comes down to anything severe? Do you think we're going to find out that there were actual hacked important documentations that were taken from her server? Was there indeed a group that already investigated her on her private server at one point and they can prove it with a shadow of a doubt? Was there talks with Russian officials? Was there talks with Iranian diplomats? And why, if phones were smashed up, why were they? What text messages on those phones were so dire that in a group, in a big cluster, phones had to be slammed if everything's legal? Do people have phone smashing parties on weekends? It's like smashing plates. Did they hit them with hammers and say, Opa? Anyway, you guys have a wonderful afternoon, a good morning, a good night, whichever. Please like, share, and subscribe. We really do appreciate that around here. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. If you don't hit the notification bell, you might not get our videos. God bless each and every one of you. See ya.